Take your seat and weight evenly into both sitting bones from the grounding of your pelvis. Rise up through your spine. Allow your ribs, your shoulders, and your head to balance on top of your pelvis. Draw your arms from elbows to armpits towards your trunk so that the sides of your arms become a support, a side column of strength that you can feel as you draw them in. As they draw in, you might feel your back muscles tone just a little bit more. And now breathe. As you breathe, feel the breath moving into the sides of you. You can feel the expansion of your torso from the rib cage meeting your arms. Every in-breath, feel this opening. Steady attention on your breath. It's easy to let your mind wander. Just a few more breath cycles of attuning to the steady state of your breath. Now bring your hands to your heart. Meet your hands together and press your thumbs right against your sternum and lift your heart up into your thumbs. So hands are meeting heart. With gratitude for the steadiness of this heartbeat within you, the steadiness of the breath that flows, allowing for an opening in your life. Release your hands and open your eyes. All right, let's get busy right into all fours, hands and knees. So come onto your mat, move anything you're sitting on out of the way. Again, for this morning's practice, if you just joined us, you will need a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, please use a belt. You can also use a pair of pants and you'll put your foot in the crotch and hold on to the two pant legs. You also may want to have a pillow from the couch for back knee down or a blanket. So with your hands beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your pelvis, just take a couple of breaths here. Neutral pelvis, neutral spine. So head is being held at the height of the spine. On your next breath, just drop your tail, drop your head, lift your belly, and come back to neutral pelvis, neutral spine. So 2 more times, rounding up into cat, back to neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Once more, use an exhale to round. Push with your hands. Hold neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Now working in the opposite direction. Lift your tail, claw with your hands and pull them back. Pull your heart forward. Look up. This is cow. Back to neutral. And again, into cow. Tail lifts, heart pulls forward, hands claw back. Return to neutral. One more time. Reach back through each inner thigh. Lift the sitting bones. Pull from pubic bone through belly button to sternum to heart as you look up. And then to neutral. Walk your hands over to the right. I am teaching right, left. So depending on how you are viewing me, it may look opposite of what you're doing. Follow right, left cues. With your hands walked right, shift back with your pelvis towards your heels. So you're in a child's pose with a little bit of a lateral bend. In breath and come up. Walk your hands to center. Take them over left. Shift your hips back towards your heels. Breathe. In breath and come up. One more time each side. Walking over to the right. Shift your pelvis back to your heels and breathe. Press down through your hands, but keep the armpits and forearms lifting. In breath, come up. Hands to center. Hands to the left. Breathe. Use an exhale. Pelvis back. Hands root. Armpits lift. Forearms lift. In breath and come up. Return your hands back to center and then walk your hands maybe a handprint forward of your shoulder girdle. And then place your pointer finger and your thumb about the outer width of your shoulder girdle. So we're setting up for down dog. Tuck your toes, push with your feet, and then hover your knees off the mat. So you're pushing with your hands and your feet and just hovering your knees. On your next breath, use an exhale. Control the descent of your knees to the mat. Back to an extended all fours pose. Keep your toes tucked, push with your feet, push with your hands. Pick your knees up, just like an inch or two off the mat. Breathe here. You feel how much leg strength you have, how much power. Good, return your knees to the mat. One more time, push with your hands, push with your feet, knees hover. And now this time, drive your pelvis up and back in downward facing dog, moving from your legs and pelvis to fully unfold your down dog. Several breath cycles here. Walk your hands and your feet towards one another. Come into a standing forward fold. Bend your knees. Allow your head to drop in. Move into ridge tops. And on an in-breath, look up and get long. On an exhale, fold towards your legs. 2 more times. In-breath. Extend your spine. Exhale, fold your torso in towards your legs. 1 more time. Push with your hands to extend your spine. Push with your feet. On the exhale, keep the push of hands and feet to fold. Bring your hands to your pelvis, move your heart forward so you're in spinal extension, knees are bent. Keep your heart moving forward as you rise tall to standing. Release your arms down by your side. Walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat, chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Step back to plank. Push with your hands and your feet and breathe. Take another full breath here. And on your exhale, knees to the mat is an option, tops of the feet down. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Up cobra. Exhale, lower down. Push up into all fours, hands and knees. Stay in hands and knees. Step your right foot back behind you. Keeping your right foot stepping back with toes tucked under. Extend your left arm forward. It's hard to move this microphone to the second side. Tech issues. Return your left hand to the mat. Now step your left foot back behind you, toes tucked under. Keep the left foot on the ground and keep pushing with it. Extend your right arm forward. Right hand returns to the mat, left leg back to the mat. Step your right foot back again, toes tucked under. Pick your right foot up. Extend your left arm forward. Breathe. Return your right foot to the mat, left hand down. Step your left leg back, toes tucked under. Keep the push into your left foot. Keep that strength. And lift your left leg up. Add the right arm extending forward. Breathe. Return your arm and your leg back to the mat. Tuck your toes, work your hands underneath your shoulder girdle, and then take them clearly 1 full handprint forward. So we're lining up again for down dog. Hands are a little bit forward of the shoulder girdle. Push with your hands and your feet, hover your knees off the mat. Feel this steady state of strength. And then on your next breath, lower your knees to the mat. Do that 2 more times. Knees hover, breathe, push with your hands and your feet. Return your knees to the mat. Last one, push with your hands and your feet, hover your knees. And now keep pushing with your hands and your feet. Tip your sitting bones up to the sky, allow your head to drop in, and extend your legs all the way. Breathe. Bend your knees in your downward facing dog. And as you press with your feet, Move your upper inner thighs back to the wall or space behind you and apart. Draw your tail down so your belly tones. And now from the bottom of your heart to your hands, push into the earth. Big push. Come on, lengthen it out. And then from the bottom of your heart through your pelvis to your heels, extend. Big opening and breathe. Fullest expression of down dog in this moment. Walk your hands and your feet towards one another. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Move your heart forward. In breath and come up. Exhale and release your arms down. Take a wide stance on your mat. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Turn your right foot slightly in. Turn your left foot all the way open. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Release your front hip. Come into a knee bend. Turn your gaze to look over your left hand. So you're in warrior two. Keeping your legs in the shape that they're in, pull both feet towards one another and in breath, your arms up. Open them out to a T and clasp your hands behind your back. And just breathe. On your next exhale, hinge from your hip crease, stick your butt out, forward fold. Arms towards the sky. Humble warrior. Breathe. Push down with both feet. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Lengthen your legs. Turn your left foot in. Turn your right foot all the way open. As you spread your toes and pull your feet towards one another, reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Release your front hip. Come into your knee bend and breathe. Turn your gaze to look over your right hand. Stay with your breath. Next in breath, arms go back up, legs stay steady and strong, arms out to a T, and then reach into the back plane and clasp your hands behind your back. Loose grip with the fingers, move the forearms in, lift your heart up. And on your exhale, hinge from your hip crease, your rear end will stick out, forward fold. One more breath. Press down with your feet, inhale and come up. Release your arms, lengthen both legs, turn your feet parallel. Reach your arms up to the sky, out to a T, breathe. As you spread your toes and pull your feet towards one another, feel how that drawing into the midline helps you create strength. And now from your pelvis to your feet, push down and feel the opening through the leg lines. Reach out from your heart to your fingertips and lengthen from tail to crown. Tail descends, crown of the head ascends. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your right foot all the way in, turn your left foot all the way open. So right foot's turning slightly in, left foot all the way open. Arms reach up to the sky, out to a T. Breathe. On your exhale, hinge from your hip crease, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Continue to spread your toes and pull your feet towards one another. That's what creates the steadiness in the pose, the hugging in, the drawing in of the legs. All you guys know that from your very dedicated practice. Release the front hip, let your front knee bend. So you're moving into Virabhadrasana. Still, if you can, keep your bottom arm where you put it for Trikonasana. Take your top arm over your head. Keep pulling your feet into the midline. Keep squeezing the legs towards one another as you breathe. They'll keep you steady. Bottom arm reaches out as well. So now both arms are extended. Push with both feet. Inhale and come up. Nice. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your left foot in. Turn your right foot all the way open. Spread your toes. Once again, pull the feet towards one another. Reach your arms up to the sky, big reach, and out to a T. Stay with your breath, and as you stay committed to drawing the legs towards one another, triangle pose. Hinge from the hip crease. Breathe. Changing the bottom leg, release the front hip, come into a knee bend on the front leg. Top arm over the head. Side angle pose, breathe. Steadiness comes from connection to your breath, right? The steady flow of your breath and the strong pull of both legs towards one another. Bottom arm reaches out. Both arms reaching, breathe. Push with your feet into the earth. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your feet parallel, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Walk to the top of your mat. Stand at the top of your mat, step your right foot back for a high lunge. Pelvis, shoulders, oriented straight in front of you. So both frontal hip bones, both shoulder girdles, orienting in the same direction. Dangle your arms down by your side and begin wiggling your back foot back just a little bit more. So you're creating a greater opening between the legs. But you're not losing the power, the strength, the steadiness. So as you take the head of the left shin bone forward, that's the front leg, continue to use your right inner thigh and lift it up. Keep belly and ribs back on top of the pelvis. In breath, raise your arms up. Next exhale, hands into the back plane, clasp your hands behind your back. Loosely hold your fingers, lift up through your heart. Breathe. Release your arms down by your side. Step together. Stand for a moment. Breathe. All right, second side, hands to your pelvis. Step back big with your left leg. Once you've taken the general form of the pose, start to wiggle the left foot back a little bit more so you're creating a larger opening between the legs. Now with that opening between the legs, so space between each leg, still keep the front knee and ankle pretty much stacked. Do your best there. And maybe stacked means knee over arch of the foot for you. Now, as you push into your left big toe ball joint and step heavy into your right heel, which is your front heel, pull both legs towards one another and just let your arms dangle. Move your belly and your ribs and your shoulders back over your pelvis. And on an in-breath, reach up fully, big stretch from pelvis to fingertips, big reach. Breathe. On the exhale, open your arms out to a T and move them into the back plane. Clasp your hands behind your back, loose grip. Forearms squeeze together, upper arms draw apart. Lift up through your heart as you draw down through your tail. Curl back any amount. Breathe. Release your arms, stack your body. Push down with your right heel. Let the movement go out through the right forefoot. Step together with your left leg. Release your arms. Breathe. Inhale, big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Step back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees in down dog. Lift your sitting bones. And as you stay with your breath, move your upper inner thighs back and apart. Keep that action. Just think about your tail, that teeny tiny bone at the end of your spine. It's about as big as your first knuckle of your pinky. 9 muscles attached there. Draw down through the tail towards your heels, and that'll help lift your belly and your ribs. And now from the bottom of your heart, through your heels, lengthen your legs. So this extension doesn't just come from pelvis to heels, it comes from mid-torso, the bottom of your heart. And now from the bottom of your heart, right, so it's about mid-torso, through your armpits, through your arms into your hands, extend. Keep breathing. That's the steadiness of the breath flowing. Continue to push with your hands and your feet. On an in-breath, come forward to plank. Breathe. Stronger hand and feet push. So you have one foot that doesn't push as much. You have one hand that doesn't claw and push as much. So you want to go to those places and push. Breathe. Option is to bring the knees to the mat or keep the legs long, lower all the way down onto your belly. Bring your arms back beside you and then clasp your arms in the back plane so you're holding your hands loosely threaded together. Elbows are bent. Squeeze your legs towards one another as you press down into the tops of your feet. Anchoring through your pelvis, reach back from pelvis to toes. And now pull forward from pelvis to heart to float up. Heart moving forward to lift up. 2 more breaths. You get greater height by reaching back through the legs more, by pressing down through the legs more, by squeezing the legs together more. Next breath, lower all the way down. Hands by your chest wall. Push up into 4s. In all 4s position, take your right arm out to a T and then thread your right arm through. Thread the needle. The right side of your head will come down to the mat. You'll be on the corner of your right ear on your skull. Swallow. If you can't swallow well, change your head position. Maybe you need a pillow or a blanket underneath your head. Left hand is in ridge tops, finger pads, left elbow to the sky. Draw the left side of your pelvis back, and then step your left leg back, toes tucked. Continue to look towards your left elbow, left armpit area. Strongly reach through the left leg and pick your left leg up. Option is to extend the left arm up to the sky as well. Breathe. Left hand returns to the mat. Left leg lowers. Fold your left leg after your foot hits the ground. Push with your left hand to untwist. Back to 4s, just breathe. Hands beneath the shoulder girdle, knees beneath the pelvis. Steadiness of breath. Keep your legs squeezing towards one another as you press down with your right hand. Take your left arm out to a T, thread through with the left arm. Come into ridge tops on the right hand. And I'm sorry, the mic will get kind of weird here in these twist positions. Lift up through your right elbow tip. Draw back through the right side of your pelvis to the space behind you. So you're lengthening the space between right hip and right armpit. Rather than letting it decrease in space, you're opening the space. Step your right leg back to help open the space from right side of the pelvis to right armpit. Stay with your breath. Firm right leg, lift it up. Option is right arm up. Breathe. Right hand down. Right leg reaches to return to the mat. Fold your right knee, come back into all 4s position, hands and knees. Steady breath. Work your hands one full handprint forward. Tuck your toes, push with your hands and your feet. Hover your knees. And now begin tipping your sitting bones up to the sky so that you're unfurling into down dog. Go from the bottom of your heart into your hands to unfold the dog. From the bottom of your heart through your pelvis to your heels to open your dog into its fullest expression. Take 2 more breaths. Walk your hands and your feet towards one another. Bring your hands to your pelvis, move your heart forward. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. To the top of your mat again, please. Breathe. Spread your toes. Squeeze your legs towards one another to be steady here in Tadasana. On an in-breath, raise your arms up fully. Push from your pelvis to your feet. Reach from your pelvis up through your sideways to your fingertips. As you draw your tail down, lengthen more through the top back of your head. Next, exhale. Keep this opening, this length. You can bend your knees a little bit. You want to hinge from the hip crease to come almost like into an L pose, a forward fold. Yeah, keep the spine long as possible, all the way down till you touch the floor into Uttanasana. Step the right leg back for a lunge. Right hand stays down on the mat. You can flat palm it. Turn your ribs to the right, so you're turning towards your left leg. Left arm up. Lunge with a twist. Breathe in, and as you exhale, left hand down. Push with your left foot, swing your right foot forward. Breathe. Step into your right foot, step your left foot back. Low lunge. Left hand down to the mat. Push with your left hand on the earth. Turn your left ribs to the right. You're turning towards your front leg. Top arm up to the sky. Lunge with a twist. Breathe. Keep pulling your legs towards one another. It's what helps keep you steady here. One more breath. Right hand down on the exhale. Push with your right foot. Feel weight in your right heel to step your left foot forward. Forward fold. Breathe. Bend your knees, hands to your pelvis. Reach back through your tail, pull forward through your heart. With your spine long, push with your feet, rise tall. Release your arms down by your side. In breath, reach your arms up, out to a T. Clasp your hands behind your back, draw your tail down, lift up through your heart. Bend your knees a little bit, make them resilient. Lift up through your heart more, tail down. Use one of the knuckles of your fingers to help root your tail down. Keep bending your knees, keep curling back. Breathe, sides of the neck back, tips of the ears back. Push with your feet, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Step your right foot back for a lunge. So this may be the moment where you want a blanket or a pillow under your back knee. So if you have one handy, reach for it. Back knee down, can rest on a pillow or a blanket, top of the foot down. In breath, rise tall and put your hands on your left thigh bone near your knee. Move your belly back like into a cat shape. So belly's scooping back, and start walking your hands backwards towards your left hip crease. So that's what's bringing you upright, coming up through a little flexed position of the spine. Now use your left hand and descend your left femur. It'll try to lift up and take the left side of the pelvis with it. So use your left hand and push down the left thigh bone. Lift up through your heart, raise your arms up. Pull your feet towards one another as you press into the top of your right foot. On an exhale, arms into the back plane, clasp your hands. Use your knuckle to draw down through your tail, lift up through your heart. Think about up rather than back. Heart up, tail down. Heart up, tail down. Breathe. Lift up through your heart. Release your hands. Bring your hands to the mat. Tuck your toes. Push with your left foot. Step your right foot forward. And we'll switch sides. Left leg back. Front knee and ankle. Right now they're in alignment. Eventually, the left knee will move forward. Move your pillow or blanket to your left leg, underneath your left knee. On an exhale, left knee down, top of the left foot down. Breathe, steady breath. Steady legs by pulling both feet towards one another. So it means step into the right heel, pull it back. Push down through the top of the left foot, pull it forward. Work your hands onto your right thigh bone, right above the knee. Yeah, push there. Move your belly back. So you're taking a little bit of a cat shape here with your belly moving back and your head bowed in. And then work your hands back. They're like walking back across your thigh bone towards your pelvis until they come to your hip crease. Then use your right hand, draw the right side of the pelvis down, right hip down, right thigh bone down, anchor it. Lift up through your heart. Breathe. Reach up through your arms. Keep pulling your feet towards one another. Big reach, big expression from pelvis to fingertips. Now arms into the back plane. Clasp them. Use your knuckle to draw your tail down. Lift up through your heart. Curl back any amount. Breathe. And on your next breath, stack your body. Release your hands to the mat. Tuck your back toe. Push with your back foot to lift your back leg up. Swing your left foot forward so you're in a standing forward fold. Fold your head, drop in and breathe. You are more than welcome to bend your knees here so that your spine fully lengthens. Stay with your breath. That's the steadiness of the practice. Reactivate your legs first by spreading your toes, rooting into your heels. As you squeeze your legs together, move your heart forward, bring your hands to your pelvis, and rise all the way up to standing. Release your arms down by your side. All right, standing in your left foot, step your right foot back. And we'll plant at this time in a Virabhadrasana 1 shape. And what Virabhadrasana 1 shape means is pelvis oriented in the same direction. So your back leg, frontal hip bone is not turned open, right? It's turned forward in the same direction as your left frontal hip bone. To get that, what really helps is to use the right inner thigh, the back leg inner thigh, and think about lifting it up to the sky and broadening it to the right. So try that, an action of the right inner thigh. It moves back to the wall or space behind you and broadens to the right. And see if you feel how that turns your right frontal hip bone forward. Now release the left hip so the left knee and ankle stack a little bit more. Now add in what's going on up here in the ribs and the belly. Turn your ribs and your belly towards your front knee. In breath, raise your arms up. Breathe, push down now from your pelvis into your back heel more to get the opening. Push into your left heel and pull your back foot and your front foot towards one another to create the steadiness. Keeping the steadiness in the opening, go for more opening now. Pull from your pelvis up through your armpits to your fingertips, bigger reach. Clasp your hands behind your back. Breathe. Keep the heart lifted. Don't go into the full back bend, just a modified one. Pivot on your back foot and come onto your big toe ball joint. Start baby stepping your back foot in. So you're shortening the distance between the two legs. Keep the legs drawing towards one another while at the same time reaching away from pelvis to feet. Push down with your left foot, float your right leg up. So you're moving into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, with bound hands. Breathe. Strong right inner thigh lifting, toes spreading on both feet. Soften your front knee, touch down with your back leg, land in Warrior 1. Extend your arms fully, reach down through your tail into your back heel. Keep moving the head of your left shin bone forward. Lift up through your heart and curl back, full expression. Release, right back on top of you. Let go of your arms, dangle them. Nice work. Pivot on your back foot. Push with your left heel, step your right foot forward and just stand for a moment. Big sequence. Breathe. Return to the recognition, the remembering of the steady flow of your breath. Second side, hands to your pelvis. Step your left foot back, Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. And we'll just refine this shape first, right? Just right here, refine it. The first refinement is the orientation of your pelvis. So you may have to step your left foot a little bit more left so that you can bring your left frontal hip bone forward. You use your hands to pull. Left hand helps guide the left frontal hip bone forward and right hand helps guide the right frontal hip bone back. And that kind of levels the pelvis and orients both sides of the pelvis in the same direction. Now, a further refinement, a more skillful refinement is to take the left inner thigh and move the left inner thigh back to the space behind you and apart to the space beside you to the left. And see if moving from the inner thigh of the left leg, the back leg, back and apart, if that helps reorient the pelvis just a little bit more in a refinement. Keep what you have. Now push down into your front heel. Take the head of the right shin bone forward and now push into your back heel strongly so you start to get an opening through the left leg a little bit more. To increase the opening, reach your arms up fully, big reach, so from pelvis to armpits to fingertips, extension as you stay steady with your breath and steady with both feet pulling towards one another. On your next exhale, take your hands into the back plane, clasp them, draw down through your tail, lift up through your heart. So don't take the big back bend yet. Just a little bit of opening through the front of the chest as you stay steady with breath and your legs. Push with your right heel, lift up through your left heel so that you hop the left foot in, like a couple little hops to get the left foot a little bit closer towards the right leg. Keep reaching back through the tail as your heart moves forward. Weight shift into your right foot. You'll feel the moment of launch. Strong left leg lifts up. Breathe. Heart more forward, tail more back. From pelvis to right foot push. From pelvis to left heel reach. Keeping the reach of your back leg. Soften your front leg knee so it bends. Plant down with your left foot into Virabhadrasana 1. Extend your arms towards the earth, still clasped. Lift up through your heart. Lift up through your heart more as your arms descend. Sides of the neck, tips of the ears, base of the skull back. Breathe. Full expression. Heart on top of pelvis. Release your arms. Push with your right foot. Pivot on your back foot so your left heel's lifted. Step forward with your left foot. Release your arms down by your side. Inhale, big breath up. Exhale, have a seat, chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Step back to downward facing dog, please. Two more breaths. Steady breath. Refine your down dog. Bend your knees. Move the inner thighs back and apart. Reaching down with your tail, pull forward with your heart. And as you continue to press with your hands and feet evenly, go from the bottom of your heart through your pelvis to your heels and open your dog. From the bottom of your heart through your armpits to your hands, reach more fully. So like a slinky, right? You're just pulling yourself apart in this dog. And the focal point of the pose is in the bottom of your heart. So that's where the separation occurs. In two directions away from the bottom of your heart. Bottom of the heart through pelvis to feet. Bottom of the heart through rib cage, through armpits, through arms, through hands. Reach. On an exhale, knees to the mat. Have a seat. Swing your legs forward. Good work, you guys. Big practice. Stretch both legs out in front of you. Use your fingertips back behind you to help you lift up. So at the beginning of practice, I mentioned that you would need a yoga strap. If you don't have one, you can use a belt. You can also use a pair of pants and put your foot in the crotch of the pants and hold on to each pant leg. In breath, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hands touch anything. So we're in Paschimottanasana as your heels press down through the backs of your legs, backs of the calves, backs of the knees, backs of the thighs, push down. Squeeze your legs together. Take another breath, steadiness in the breath. Walk your hands back to your pelvis, in breath, and come up. All right, get your yoga strap. Bend your knees, hold on to your hamstrings, and ease yourself down to the mat. So you're laying flat on your back on the mat. Unfurl your yoga strap, and with your left knee bent, left foot on the floor, put your right foot in the yoga strap and stretch your right leg up to the sky. Take a look at your right foot, and are you tipping more into one side of the foot than the other? And if you are, use your hand on the strap to guide the foot and level it out. So if you were to put a footprint up on the sky or on the ceiling, you would get the four corners of your foot. Work your right hand up your yoga strap towards your right foot. So your right hand's crawling all the way up as close as it can get to your right foot. Release your left hand from holding the yoga strap. And as you stay with your breath, press your right thigh bone back towards your hamstrings. Yeah, that'll increase the hamstring stretch. On an exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Use your left hand and hug your left knee in. Spread all 10 toes. Drawing left knee in firmly with the left arm, continue to press the right thigh bone back. Next option is on an exhale to peel your head, neck, and shoulders up. Work your forehead towards your left knee. On an in-breath, return your head down. Wait for an exhale to return your left foot to the mat. Staying steady with your breath, bend your right knee, return the right foot to the ground and remove the strap. Just stretch your legs out for a moment, both legs long on the mat, arms down by your side. Feel. Feel the difference between the right side and left side of you. Notice how the breath fills and has found an opening, a place where it can freely expand. All right, let's get the second side. So bend both knees. Hook the strap around the bottom of your left foot. And we're just in a classic hamstring stretch. So right knee is bent, right foot is flat on the floor. Hands are holding the yoga strap that's wrapped around your left foot, and keep your triceps, the upper arm bones, from shoulder to elbow on the ground. So you're not adding any more tension through the upper torso by holding the straps. With your toes spreading, push your left thigh bone towards your hamstrings. That should increase the stretch without you having to bring your leg any closer to your face. All right, bring the straps together as if they're one, and then use your left hand. The left hand's going to crawl up as high towards your left foot as it can reach. Confirm that you've got a nice level foot, right? That your foot's not twisted or turned, that if we put a footprint on the ceiling or the sky, that you would see the four corners of your foot demarcated. As you continue to press your left thigh bone back towards your hamstrings, use an exhale and draw your right knee towards your chest. Hug it in. Use your right arm to pull it in. Push with your left foot from pelvis to foot while you press your left thigh bone back, and resist with your left hand. So your left hand's pulling down while your left foot is pushing up into the strap. The next option is to peel the head, neck, and shoulders up. You can always keep your head on the ground. Use an exhale to get there. Steady breath. Inhale, head returns to the mat. Wait for an exhale for the right knee to return. And as you take the strap off your left foot, stay with your breath and return your left foot to the mat. Stretch both legs out again and just feel. Bend both knees. Hook the strap once again now, or back to the first side around your right foot. Take both straps into your left hand. So your right foot is hooked in the strap. Your left hand is holding the straps. Level out your right foot. Keep your left knee bent, left foot on the floor. Take your right leg across the midline as you bring your left knee across the midline. So both legs are crisscrossing at the midline. Option is to have the right arm out to a T, or it could be at your side. Press your right thigh bone towards the hamstrings. Stay with your breath, and now roll onto your left side. Completely roll onto your left side. Keep the bottom knee bent. If you're like me and your top foot has hit a wall, push into the wall. From your pelvis to your foot, push the wall. Option is to reach down with the right hand and grab the left foot. So you're in a quad stretch. Continue to draw the right hip towards your left knee. And reach from your right hip into the strap and resist with your left hand. So your right foot's pushing into the strap, your left hand's pulling back. On your next in-breath, extend your left leg out. Bring your right leg back to the sky. Bend your left knee, left foot flat on the floor. Bend your right knee, take your right foot out of the strap. And let's switch sides. So left foot in the strap. Right knee stays bent. Work your left hand all the way up towards the top. Right hand all the way up to the top, holding the strap. Option is to have the left arm out at a T, and let's just cross the midline with both legs first. So your right knee crisscrosses to the left, left leg crisscrosses over to the right. Press your left thigh bone towards your hamstrings and breathe. So this may be enough of like a hamstring outer hip opener, right? That you're like, this is good, I'm just staying here. The option is to roll onto your right side. You'll keep your bottom knee bent as you roll onto your side. Breathe. If you can easily reach down with your left hand and take hold of your right foot for the quad stretch, great. But if it's awkward, just keep the left arm reaching out to a T or down by your side. Now your pelvis, the left side of your pelvis, first reaches down towards the left knee. And then from pelvis to left foot, push into the strap. And your right hand resists that push. Take another breath. Keeping your left leg long and strong, reaching into the strap throughout the range of motion. Roll onto your back. Stand on your right foot, bend your left knee, take your left foot out of the strap, and stretch both legs long on the mat. Just breathe for a moment and feel. Bend both knees. Take the soles of your feet and touch them together. Soles of the feet touching, knees are out wide. You're in bound angle pose on your back. Supine bound angle. Feet touching, knees out wide. Now squeeze your feet together, right? So that creates a steadiness. Draw your heels towards your pelvis isometrically. That creates a steadiness. Continue to breathe. Steady. And now for the opening, from the creases of your hips to your knees, reach. And you might feel that that also changes what's happening in the lumbar spine. It might allow the lumbar spine to have a more lordotic shape. And as you breathe, make sure you use good exhales to settle your ribs on the mat. So the ribs stay down, even though the lumbars might be enjoying their natural lordotic state, which means a little bit of a back bend. All right. Next breath, bring your knees together. Hug both knees into your chest. Work your hands up to your feet, happy baby. One hand holding onto each foot as you spread your toes. Push down with your hands, push up with your feet. You can rock, you can sway, or you can just hold static. Next breath, bring your heels towards your buttocks. Bring your knees into the midline. Give yourself one last knee hug. Stretch your legs out long. Bring your arms down by your side, palms open. Close your eyes. Rest. Rest in the steady state of your breath. Rest in the opening of your own heart.